Start recording now, it's fine. Right, so welcome everyone to today's webinar with the number one income earner, commander of the Starship Enterprise of the universe, Peter Powderham. So Peter got announced as the number one income earner at The View this weekend, which is absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do first, before I bring Peter on, is I'm just going to go through some important updates. So let me just do that now. Peter, just tell me if you can see my slides.
Yep, all good.
Okay, cool. So the first thing is the Mega Rockstar. So they just announced the Mega Rockstar trip, okay, the trips. So to qualify, so basically if you sign up two people, okay, by the 30th of November, you can book that trip for $249 per person. So it's actually going to be between the 31st and the 3rd. So straight after, directly after the Mega Dream trip, which also is going to be in Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt. Okay, if you sign up four people, four personals, gold or platinum, okay, by the end of November, so it started on September 29th, then you actually get the trip for free. You just have to get your flights there, okay? So the other thing is the holiday rank up promotion. So this actually started on the 27th of November, 27th of October. So anyone who makes two sales, again, gold or platinum sales, and by tomorrow, okay, so it was extended, right? It was meant to be last week that it finished. But by tomorrow, if you make two sales between the 27th of October and tomorrow, essentially you do step one, okay, of that promotion, which means that if you rank up to either director, okay, if you rank up to director by the 4th of January, you will make $5,000, right? And if you were at one of the View events, it will be $10,000, right? Okay, so it gets doubled up. Now, if you rank up, so you've got to add 50 lineage as well for ranking up to director. Now, if you rank up to marketing director or regional marketing director, MD or RMD, okay, again, by the 4th of January, having got your two personal sales, then again, you will get $10,000 or $20,000 if you're at one of the View events. So that is huge, okay, as a promotion. So definitely, man, if you haven't got your two by tomorrow, just do what you can, okay, to nail that. So again, the rewards program was, or the rewards site and program was launched at the weekend officially for Europe, and you know, they announced a huge bonus. So basically, if you're a gold member, you're going to get 2,000 reward credits into your account. So it's $2,000 worth of reward credits. If you are a platinum member, you're going to get 3,000 reward credits, okay? Now, just remember one thing, is that it will get converted into your local currency. Some people will say, oh, I didn't get like as many as I was expecting, because, for example, if you are, say, within Europe and in a country with euros, it will be like around 2,600 euros, yeah, okay, showing as credits if you're a platinum member. So just bear in mind that. And the other thing to say is that they also announced the regionals training events, so 12th of January and 13th of January and 19th of January. So we have London with Razvan Marius. We've got Leon, Johnny Wimbury will be there. That's going to be huge, okay, because obviously France just launched. And then you got Germany, you got Bucharest in Romania, Prague, Israel, Athens, and Cluj also in Romania. So guys, make sure you get tickets. I can tell you, with the growth that we're experiencing already, I mean, we had sales just yesterday. I just saw it on the IC group chat. Which basically were more than double over last year, last month, day on day, right? Okay, so we are going into mass momentum now, and I'm telling you, you know, Barcelona, the Barcelona momentum got sold out within 24 hours of the weekend. These regionals are going to sell out, I'm telling you, right? So if you don't book your tickets early, then you're going to miss out. It's as simple as that. So guys, get your event tickets booked. It's absolutely critical. So anyway, so I wanted to do those updates fast because I wanted to bring Peter in now. I mean, Peter, first of all, huge congratulations for being the #1. I mean, I know it's not your first rodeo, but it's 39 years in the industry. So, I mean, I just want you to really shed a bit of perspective on where we're heading now, because, I mean, you know, like, things are rocking now. And I still believe it's the beginning. So, over to you.
Well, sure, thanks. I mean, can I just double check you can hear me okay? Is it loud enough?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Well, good evening, everybody. Good, I think it's all good evening. I can't imagine there's anybody on the other side of the world on this call. If there is, good morning, good afternoon, whatever there may be.
Singapore and Canada.
Super. I can't see the participants from where I am. So congratulations for, well, taking the time to come on this call and have the patience to listen to someone like me. Obviously, as I so often say, when you get desperate, you roll out the old guy and see if he's got anything decent to say, and that's what I'll do my best. I have such a lot of fun with the industry that I don't take. I take these things to be an enjoyable chat. I'm not a person who wants to tell you exactly how something works or give you some sort of instruction that is some magic pill or some secret magic bullet. There is no such thing in network marketing. What happens in networking, to be honest with you, is you do it for long enough, you do it for hard enough, you work it properly, and you will find a way, because everybody does it differently. Everybody's got a different technique, everybody's got a different approach. What we've seen with World Ventures since I started with them almost 10 years ago, 9.5 years ago, I started as a consultant with them, as Shush mentioned earlier, and I wasn't going to become a rep because I didn't want to be. I was already extremely comfortable. If you go back that time, I had multiple homes, multiple cars. I had the lifestyle. I was, as Shush said, I was spending I think he said 6 months on the golf course. Well, the reason I spend 6 months on the golf course is I'm rubbish at golf. It takes me that long to get around 18 holes. So don't make fun of me, Shush, just because it takes me 6 months to do around the golf. I mean, you know, come on. I'll get good one day. Anyway, the point is that when I first saw World Ventures, I knew the potential, but I also had that knowledge of the industry which told me that every great network marketing company has got to go through growth phases, one after the other, and they all do it. Now, what's brilliant about World Ventures is that they've gone through those phases. Now, when I say that, I'm not going to bore you with the past or talk to you about what's happened in the last few years or 6 months or whatever. That's irrelevant. What's happened in the past is irrelevant, but it isn't irrelevant to the future. It doesn't matter what took place, but the fact that it took place is important for where we go next. And by that I mean this: in a commercial sense, in a network marketing sense, in any way that you look at this, there are growth periods, there are down periods, there are good ideas, bad ideas. And when World Ventures was created, you have to remember, nobody had ever done this before. Nobody had ever taken a travel idea and put it into a network marketing structure of this type. They had tried previously with other ideas that didn't work, but this was the first one that started to work. Now, as a result of that, they didn't really know what did work, because if you think about it, they're saying, well, okay, this seems to work, this works, let's try this, let's do that. And of course, you know, there were things that were good ideas and others that have gone away and nobody can even remember them now. But at the heart of the business, there was always a faithful dedication to network marketing and a faithful dedication to the free spirit of people like us having an opportunity to change our lives. And the core was therefore pure, which meant that no matter what mistakes they made, there was nobody sitting there going, well, I don't care because I'm making money. Might be a corporate officer who decides, I'm all right, I'll get my salary. There have been some of those. Don't get me wrong, they're gone now, those people. I've seen the progress. I could spend hours with you explaining why I know this, but I'm not going to bore you with that, because after 4 decades of doing this and having also been on both sides of the fence, I know how this stuff works. I am the sort of person that if I sat down with you guys, you're not going to argue with me about how this works, right? You're not going to tell me how this works. Um, you're not going to tell Edmund Hillary how to climb Everest because he's done it. You haven't. So all I'm trying to say is this. That's not an arrogant statement, but all of that, put that to one side. Let's assume there is some kind of understanding in my head as to how we got to where we are and where we're going next. And Shush asked me to describe where we're going next. I want to embellish that by saying to you that what the company's gone through means we are now at a stage after 12 years, nearly 13 years as a company, we are poised for what we should be doing, or should have been doing perhaps 5 years ago, but what we should be doing to be, I believe, the biggest, most powerful network marketing opportunity the world has ever seen. I always believed that back in 2009, but I watched them struggle with their understanding of what they had. I watched them fight to get it right. And we used to have structures, Shush remembers this, when it was very, very difficult to get people in the corporate office to respond and support what we needed. It was very difficult to get people there to appreciate what we had. We knew what we had. It was almost like they didn't understand. That has all changed. I'll tell you how much that's changed. I have recently had to come home from I've got a beautiful home in Florida. I just built a new house over there. And I was going to I should be there right now, spending 2 months there. Unfortunately, my beautiful wife Mary's mother died last week, and obviously we came home. So we have that to deal with, family funeral and everything that goes with it. So we're now home back in England. But that's a sad thing. But what really got me was I thought, oh no, I've got to leave, was that Josh Payne and Jim Menge were booked to come down to my house in Sarasota in Florida and spend some time with me at my home to discuss 2019, to discuss our plans for the future. Now, in my time with World Ventures, I have never had corporate officers at that level who were prepared to get on an aeroplane, come to see me, not me go to see them, come to see me at my home to talk about what we needed and talk about where we were going. I guess it's a sign of respect, which I value. I also respect them. But on the other hand, it's also a symbiotic relationship, which means that they wanted to talk about next year. I'm really frustrated that I can't do that. I might fly back to Dallas and have a chat with, but I don't really want to do it in the office. I want to do it around my swimming pool, at the back of my house, with the grill on, or with the barbecue on, with a couple of beers, chatting with a couple of other guys about where we're going next. I wish it could. I'm going to try and do it in the new year. So rest assured, I have that communication with the company at that level, which I'm grateful for. I'm not arrogant enough to believe that makes me very special. It doesn't. I know that I can help them and they can help us. So having that relationship tells me there's a bunch of people, a bunch of guys who want to discuss with us what will work for the future, what we need, how we need it, when we need it, what countries, I know, what's going to happen next. And that is very powerful, because I can tell you now that there are very few companies of our type where corporate officers would entertain spending time with the top representatives in the company, because at the end of the day, those guys are just salespeople. They don't see us as just salespeople. And then back in the office, you've got people like Justin Call, who has proved to be a real pillar for everything we know. I talk to Justin every week. I message him every day. Anything we need, he calls me, tells me what's happening. I call him, look, Justin, this, that, and the other. So there's that communication. And I have to say, because I've obviously been on the corporate side, I can, where I can, be helpful. So where we're going now, Shush, is it's a real business. It's not just network marketing. We now have a business that is populated at the top by competent professional executives, and we have a business that's driven in the field by some of the most outstanding leadership I've ever seen in network marketing. Because I know the quality of the people on this call. I know the quality of you, Shush. I know what you're capable of. You know my admiration for you, Shush. You know that you come out in my 40 years of experience in the top 5 networkers I've ever worked with. You know that. And I know that we're going to have some fun next year. I know you and I are going to France in January. We'll probably go in February as well. We're going to do tours of some other countries all around Europe. You know, the thing's on fire again. It is going to blaze. Look, the momentum sold out in 24 hours, you know, in Barcelona. That hasn't happened for 5 years. So that tells you right now that we have a monster, and we are going to feed that monster with our energy, our commitment, our time. And it's great for me. I mean, I don't actually need to do this, but I love doing it because it's so enriching to be able to try and support you guys with try and help you to get what I've got. I want you to have the lifestyle that I've got, because my legacy is telling people for 40 years this industry works, and my proof is that you guys make it work. It's not just me.
Yeah. So Peter, I mean, obviously, so let me ask you another question, and that question, I mean, you know, we are about travel, fun, freedom, fulfillment, joy, and opportunity, right? Okay. So how does that compare? I mean, obviously, you've been involved with physical products, you know, pills, potions, lotions, juices, creams, all that in the past. So, I mean, why is our opportunity today, okay, so powerful compared to these physical products type opportunities?
Well, it's the same answer as it's always been, Shush. I have been around when I was running New Skin. It's lotions, potions, and pills. But New Skin still became a multi-billion-dollar company. Herbalife, multi-billion-dollar company. Herbalife, very much because it was the first. They got first mover advantage. They were the first company to go to the market with nutritional supplements at the level at which they did it.
And how long ago was that?
Oh, crikey. 1984. I can remember Herbalife turning up in 1984 when I was in Amway. I'd been in Amway for 4 years then. I'd done very well. And I remember Herbalife turning up. And we got quite angry because we thought, who's this upstart company who think they can do what we do? But look at what they've done. They've become a global phenomenon. But they couldn't do it now. If they were to launch today, they wouldn't work because it was of its time. There is a cycle. Amway wouldn't work today. Amway was launched on soap. You couldn't launch a soap company today. It wouldn't work. You know, you couldn't today launch another nutritional supplement network marketing company and expect very much success unless you were really selling snake oil, you know, making stuff up. There's not a lot in nutrition to be discovered. It's all been done. You're just revamping the same story. But we are still the first to market with travel in the way in which we do it. But more importantly, Shush, the reason we are so special is because we have a culture which is absolutely bulletproof. Those of you that were at the View last week, and obviously I couldn't be there, those of you at the View last week, you would have seen that culture. It is 6-inch thick armor plating. Nobody can get through that. Doesn't matter what any other company throws at us, because we are. If you read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about the mastermind principle. I read that when I was 23, changed my life. That book changed my life. Think and Grow Rich. The mastermind principle, where you're back to back with people of like thinking, and you link arms and you're looking outwards. And because you protect behind you as a group, locked arms, looking outwards as a core group, they can't get inside. They can't break you up. And that's what we have. But we have layers and layers and layers and layers of it. You've got layers of leadership in World Ventures, so deep, so powerful. I mean, I've got INDs I've never met, don't even know their names, like 200, 300, 400, 500 deep in my business. There's layers and layers of strength and power that protect us. And we have a culture born into us around the freedom and the fun, more than anything else, the fun side, that makes us unassailable. Nobody will ever get us. The only thing we can do is destroy ourselves by being stupid and by not doing the right thing and becoming in any way unethical. So we are unique. It's not to say we won't be copied one day. People are trying, and people have tried. They're not getting very far because there's only one Coca-Cola, you know. There's only one Facebook. There's only one first person that ever did that. There's only one Edmund Hillary. The first person on the moon, everybody knows his name. The first man to climb Everest, everybody knows his name. They don't know the one that done it second, third, or fourth. They just don't. So we're the first, and we will always be the first.
And how significant has the training system? I mean, again, Peter, you know, your first company, which you were involved in, was Amway, right? So we'll get to that story in a second, how you got involved. But for me, Amway, like, although I wasn't really involved in it, I saw it, I touched it. They had the most incredible training system ever and culture. So, like, again, how important and significant is our training system, and to be plugged into that?
I would say now, I wouldn't have said this 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I used to talk about the Amway training system being the best in the world, and I knew it was because I grew up in it. One of the reasons that I learned network marketing was because I was an Amway distributor. Amway distributors are possibly even today, because they've been around such a long time, the best trained distributors on the planet. Their product is no longer the exciting thing it was. Their compensation plan doesn't pay, and I know the numbers on all the compensation plans because I was with the BSA, so I know what network marketing companies really pay, and I can find out any day I like by calling up the BSA, speaking to my friends. But they were trained. Amway people were trained. I mean, really fine-tuned training, beautiful training, and leadership training particularly leadership training. Well, I used to think for 30 years that nobody else could ever do that. And I was with New Skin, and I was with other companies, and I never, ever saw another company that could do it. And then I came across World Ventures. And one of the reasons I decided to do World Ventures is because I went to some of the events. And when I went to the events, I was, for the first time in 30 years then, I started to see the seed of the same thing. Marcus Setter has put together, in my opinion, and I told him 10 years ago that he didn't yet have it right, and that's how arrogant I was then, because I wanted to tell him straight. And he knew me anyway. He knew me from previous businesses, and he knew he wasn't quite there with what he was doing. But Marcus Setter now has got probably the finest training program, without doubt, in network marketing on the planet. Nobody could touch him. But not just Mark, because it can't be about one person. It's about our entire system. The RTEs, the momentums, the boot camps, the whole system is genius, right? And that, again, now puts us, I believe, at number one as a training entity in our industry in the world. So, shush, we've got it all, mate. There's nothing else we need apart from we're building an army.
Absolutely. And actually, when you look at the last 5 years and all the different companies that come and gone, some product companies, some scam like financial Bitcoin, this, that, whatever companies. Now the CBD oil is the next, like rah-rah. But the thing is, none of these companies can actually say they've had the kind of success that World Ventures has created in the last few years. That there is nothing out there. So I suppose the final question, I mean, like, Peter, some people may look at you and think, well, 39 years in the industry, that momentous success. I mean, like, how did you get started? Like, what's your story? I mean, like, who showed you and how did they show you network marketing? So maybe share the story.
Well, I hope you got time for this, mate. I mean, you've heard it before. I know that's why you're asking me.
I think it's powerful for the other people.
Yeah. I went to see we talk about meetings and conditions, and we say, you've got to have, get people, give them the right presentation. Might be slides, might be video, it might be, laptop, internet, whatever. I don't know what you're going to use. You're going to push play, whatever. We've got these wonderful YouTube videos and everything else about what to do. I was a copper. I was a copper in London, as Shush mentioned. I was in Met Police, and my sponsor, Danny, and Diane were my sponsors, but I didn't know Diane then because I only knew Danny because he was a mate from the police force. He'd left the police force. He hadn't left the police force to do Amway. He'd left the police force and done something else, but he joined Amway. He rang me. I was in the police canteen. He asked me, he said, do you want to, you know, I've come across a business opportunity. I want you to take a look at it. And I said, because it was Danny, and Danny lived, and this is going to sound terrible because I was born in a council house. Danny lived in a council house in Dagenham. I had my own house, okay, in Orpington. So this guy was going to tell me about a business opportunity. Well, I wasn't going to listen to that. So I said, thanks so much, Danny, and put the phone down because I judged him based on where he was. He rang me again a few days later, asked me the same question. That thing's going really well, Pete. Would you come and take a look at it? I said, no, Danny, I'm not interested. Put the phone down. Thank God he persisted because nobody else ever asked me to get into network marketing in 40 years. He was the only one. And the third time he rang me, I was having a bad morning. It was a morning at Southwark Police Station in Borough High Street in London. And I was having a bad morning and Danny rang me. And I was in the mood to quit the police force. I'd had enough. One of those days, you know, when you've had enough of your job. And he said, Peter, come and have a look. I said, all right, Danny. Okay, all right, mate. Look, when do you want to do it? And he said, and I started telling him what I was going to do for him to show me. He didn't tell me. I took command of the situation, which you know, you're not supposed to let your prospects do this. I said, I'll tell you what, Danny, I'll come over to your place on Friday night. And he said, well, okay, Pete, what do you want to do? I said, let's go to the pub. So we went to his house. I went to his house. We jumped in the car. We drove to a pub. Right, we're going to do a business presentation. We got to the first pub back in the 1980. Pubs were rammed with people on Friday nights, drinking, not eating, but drinking. And no pubs sold food. Those were the good old days when pubs were what we used to call boozers. So we went in the pub, packed, couldn't get in the pub, literally rammed. Got back in the car, drove to another pub. That pub was busy, couldn't get in there either. We went to a third pub. We walked in the pub. There was a little tiny round table. It was still very busy. We sat on this little tiny pub table on these stools. Sat on these stools as myself, Mary, Danny, and Diane. And Danny, the table was covered in beer. We got beer on the table and everything else. And Danny proceeds to try and show me the plan, the Amway marketing plan, on the back of a diary, on a piece of paper about that big, right? About, I don't know, 3 inches by 6 inches, that big. And he starts to show me on the back. And I'm sitting there looking at it sideways like this, pretending I understood a word he said. Didn't understand a word of it. Because I didn't do very well with maths at school. And he's doing these circles and he's showing me about how to make money. And I don't understand a word he's saying. He's not showing me any product. I don't know what he's talking about. But opposite to him was Diane, his wife. And she was so excited. I thought she needed to go to the bathroom. She was sitting there sort of like, oh, God, you're going to love this. Oh, this is fantastic. And I thought, you know what? She needs to go to the loo because she's obviously like really getting Now, I pretended to understand what Danny was saying, but the bottom line was I didn't. But what I did get was that Diane was excited out of her wits. She was excited about what they were doing. And I did not have that in my life. And I thought, well, I don't understand a word you've said, and I'm not going to let you know that, but I need to find out what it is you're excited about. So I said to Danny, okay, mate, yeah, got that. What's the product? He said, oh, we'll go back to my house. So we got back in the car, we drove to his house, we finished drinking, got back to his house, and he showed me the Amway soap products. And he spent about an hour and a half demonstrating this soap. And it got to be midnight, and I needed to get up at 5 a.m. to go to work. So I said, okay, Danny, you've seen it all. Okay, I'm going home now. He said, no. He said, you need to give me £25. I said, what for? He said, you need a kit. I said, what's that? He said, you need some products and you've got to sign up. I said, have I? So he said, yeah. So I said to Mary, in those days, we used checkbooks. I said to Mary, got a checkbook, love? Give Danny 25 quid. And we walked out with a crate full of products and an almost leather plastic briefcase with paper in it. We were in Amway. I couldn't sleep. I went to bed that night. I had to get up at 5 o'clock. I laid in bed staring at the ceiling. And all I could see was circles and more circles. All my mates were going to sign up. All their mates were going to sign up. All my family were going to sign up. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be rich. This was the first night I couldn't sleep. The following day, I was running around telling people about my business, and I didn't know what I was talking about. All I knew was I was excited. All I knew I'm going to be rich. I'm going to change my life. It became history, of course. I did, in fact, do that. But the bottom line was, it was the most abysmal business presentation conditions. It was a piece of scrap paper in a diary on a table covered in beer. The product demonstration took an hour and a half. The whole presentation took 5 hours, and I didn't even know what I'd bought. When I gave him 25 quid, I walked out the door. So please don't tell me you need something to sign. If we had this, I could do it. If we had this, I could do it. If you had this video, I could do it. If you had these products, I could do it. If we had that trip, do not tell me that. I might punch the lights out. At the end of the day, if it's in your heart, if you know you can change your life through this amazing opportunity, you will just do it. And you won't make people successful, guys. People say, how do you get your people excited? How do you make people excited? The answer is simple. You set fire to yourself, right? And when they get close, you pour petrol on them and they burst into flames. The heat comes from you, not from them. You burn, they catch light. Simple as that. All right?
Fantastic. But I mean, just imagine if Danny hadn't called you for that third time.
Oh, no.
How hundreds of thousands of lives could have got affected, right? Okay. So that is obviously a lesson in follow-up, persistence. You know, sometimes I see that people, they contact their prospects once and they don't even pick the phone up. You don't even have a conversation, or they don't get a response to a text message nowadays, right? So the bottom line is that, you know what, there's going to be people on your list that you need to, like I've sponsored people in the past. Actually, in my 15 years careers, I've actually personally sponsored around 600 people. So I know how to do this, right? And I can tell you, there's people that I have pursued. It's not a case of, I'm going to show them this. I have a list of people who, like, they are going to be in my business, right? And I didn't stop, right? Contacted them until I got them in the business, right? Okay. And okay, some of them maybe didn't join because it wasn't for them. But, I made sure that I showed them properly with that excitement, enthusiasm. So it's a big lesson. Okay. So
Sure, can I just add one more thing to this, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's the same message, but listen, there is no particular way to approach people to ask them to see a business opportunity like this. They will not join. They don't join information. People don't join information. They don't join facts. They don't join a glossy website. They don't join. They don't join a picture. They join you as a human being. It's interpersonal relationships, right? You don't get pregnant unless you get personal with someone, right? So you cannot make babies unless you get really with someone. Now, here's the point. When I was signing people up back in those days, and I got sophisticated and it slowed down, I got clever, I got professional. And once you become professional, you frighten people away. They can't copy you. They can't duplicate professional because they don't know what you're talking about. But what they can duplicate is excitement. If you are on fire and you say to someone, shush, I'm sorry, mate, I don't really understand what I'm doing. I don't really understand how it works, but my God, I saw something the other night that you have got to see. You and I are going to get rich. I need you to come to a meeting with me on Tuesday. Don't argue with me, mate. You've known me all your life. You're a friend of mine. You trust me, right? I'm going to pick you up in the car. I'm going to take you to this meeting, and you're going to see something that's going to blow your mind. And I need this guy to explain it to you because I don't understand it. All I know is it's one of the most exciting things I've ever seen. You have got to come with me, shush. Don't argue. I'll pick you up. Or I'm going to be there. You need to be there. And you know that I'm not stupid. You trust me. We're good mates. I want you to be in that room with me because I want to share it with you. I can't explain it. I cannot explain what I'm excited about, shush, but you need to see it. Please understand. Don't be stupid. And people would go, really? What is it you're on? And they would come to find out what I was so excited about. Yes, they didn't all sign up. Some did, some didn't. But they all turned up. And they turned up, almost 95% of them, because they thought, what is this guy on about? Not information. I didn't say, oh, I've got a business opportunity. I think it might work. I'd like to invite you to come and see it. It's a very successful company. We're doing rather well. They're going, oh, really? Well, you know what? When you know it'll work, when you're excited about it, when you are absolutely convinced, I'll take a look at it. Because right now I'm busy, right? So people will join you. They will not join information. Okay. Sorry, mate. I just had to.
No. It's golden, actually. That is totally golden information. So, so we still have another 100 countries to open. I mean, we truly believe that we will bypass Amway as being the biggest network marketing company in the world. I think that's a collective belief of all our leaders. So the thing is, in terms of timing, guys, I just want you to know that you know what, being in the right place at the right time with the right company with the right product is one thing, but obviously if you don't take action and massive action, nothing will happen, nothing will change. So you have to jump on the train with us. And I'm telling you, there is no better time now to just go crazy with this, crazy with it, and take that huge action. I mean, just 6 months. If all of you did what Peter told me to do back in April 2004 at that event, which is to go enthusiastically and excitedly go show 500 people, just like Peter's described just there, for the next 6 months, I'm telling you, at the end of 6 months, you will totally change your lives. Okay. So, Peter, is there anything else you want to add?
No, just great to be here, Shush. This stuff keeps me young, mate. The reason I got friends that complain about, I feel old, my leg aches, my head aches, my back aches, that sort of stuff, because I've got a lot of mates that are retiring. I don't even know what retiring means, because at the end of the day, I'm in a business that I can be in for my entire life. I can enjoy it at whatever pace I want to enjoy it. I can do as much as I want to do as little as I want to do, and I get to spend time with people who are going somewhere. I get to spend time with people who have goals and dreams and ambition and are looking for the future, looking for positive. I get to spend time with you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we are certainly, I'm going to be talking with Peter over the next couple of weeks about where and when we're going to be going to places in the first quarter. So we've already said that we're going to do a bit of a tour. And so, Peter's been like relaxing for the last few months in Florida, pretty much.
Well, the thing is, Shush, people say that you've got to understand that if I've been doing it for this long and I was still doing it as intensely as I did when I was 25, you'd think it doesn't work.
No, 100%.
Nobody on this call wants to be doing 7 days a week in network marketing when they've been doing it for 40 years. So what my point is, I'm proof it works. I'm proof that you can enjoy it and you can have the rewards from it and still play with it. I just play with the business now.
Oh, absolutely. But everyone agrees that we need Peter out there just a few times, just for a few days in a few places, right? So Who wants Peter to come out to the UK, Ireland, Hungary, maybe a couple of other places, France? Who would like to see Peter in person? The living legend, the #1 income earner in Europe, yeah? I don't know if you see the comments, mate.
I can. I've got it going up to the left, yeah.
It's going ballistic, mate. So anyway, listen. So, Peter, thanks a lot. A million thanks for being on, because obviously, people absolutely love you. Listen, type in your country: South Africa, Norway, Sweden, Canada, Singapore, UK, Ireland, Moldova, France, Poland. Man, there's people on from literally all over. Hungary's in the house, right? Brazil is in the house. The Netherlands are in the house. Slovenia is in the house. Wow. That's crazy. Okay, so thanks everyone for being on, and we will, so let me see, next Thursday I am actually in Budapest, so unfortunately there'll be no webinar next week, because I'm going to be in Budapest in Hungary. Actually, in the following week I will be in Mexico, Cancun, so we'll have about a 3-week break until the next one. Okay, I may get one of my other generals, Eamon or someone, to fill in for me while I'm away. We'll see if we can hook something up. But okay, thank you very much, guys. Now is the time to go all in, big time. Get your RTE tickets booked, and let's take this to the moon.
Cheers, guys. See you soon.
Thank you.